is the reason that Arsenal are failing right now. Right, come on. Hello and welcome back to the Joe Hall YouTube channel. If you haven't already, don't forget to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. In today's video, we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be talking about why Arsenal are failing as a club. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, I think it's kind of universally agreed at this point that Arsenal are failing. They're not living up to the expectations put on them, and they're not reaching the heights they once reached. They are categorically failing. Now. I know you're asking, Joe, why are Arsenal failing? Why are they not reaching these same heights they once did? Well, my goal is to explain that in today's video, or at least explain what I think that's happening. I do think there is quite a few reasons, to be honest, and I think the main one, and the one I'm going to talk about first, Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta is not the man for Arsenal Football Club. He is not a good manager, I'm sorry. I've seen so many excuses bandied about for Arteta. Look, I'm sorry to break it to you, he's just not good enough. Is he under a very tough board? Of course he is. Was the club struggling before Arteta? Of course it was. Will the club struggle after Arteta? Of course it will. However, that doesn't mean that he's not one of the issues. I think tactically he gets outclassed multiple times every season. I think he struggles to connect with the players on a personal level, which I'll address later. And I think we keep being told, oh, trust the process, trust the process. I don't even think he knows the process, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, with what I was talking about when I said I don't think he knows how to connect with the players on a personal level, I'm talking about Ainsley Maitland-Niles. So if you don't know, I'll flash the thing up on here. A while back, Ainsley Maitland-Niles posted this on Instagram stories. It says, I just want to go where I'm wanted and where I want to play, and he tagged Arsenal in the story. Now, if you're telling me a player feels the need to go out of their way to publicly come out and say, look, I know I'm not wanted, I know I'm not going to play, just let me go, then your club's pretty muddied. But to be honest though, when I looked at this, I wasn't even looking at what he was saying, I was looking, why has he posted this? And I think the thing is, if you think he's just decided on a whim to go, you know what, I'm going to post to try and force my way out the club here, he hasn't. I guarantee you there will have been discussions with Maitland-Niles before this, long before this, and he will have made it very clear on multiple occasions, look, I know I'm not going to play, let me go somewhere. But for whatever reason, they want to keep on to him. Now, obviously, I don't have any evidence to back this up. It is just my opinion, but I'm fairly confident in that opinion. And I think this shows a lot with Mikel Arteta's man management. When you talk about man management, you're talking about some of the best managers in the world and how they go on about how important man management is. You know, Sir Alex Ferguson, go and watch an interview with him where he'll talk about man management and how important it is. Same with Arsene Wenger. You know, it's connecting with your players on a personal level. You know, you're making them feel wanted, appreciated, understood. You have to at times be their boss, but you also at times have to be their friend and how you deal with situations involving them. Now, this situation to me just screamed Arteta doesn't know how to do that. If a player's come to you and been like, I want to leave, I don't want to be here, then you deal with that situation. You know, you let the player go and you say, look, you know, you're right, you ain't going to play, just leave. Or you say, you know what, you might feel this way, let me change that because I think you will play, we will stop playing you, you know, you're appreciated here, blah, 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 blah. It's how you deal with these players, and, you know, he can't have done that, because if he had have done it, you know, Ainsley Maitland-Niles wouldn't have came out publicly on social media and bashed him, or bashed the club technically. So honestly, I just don't think Arteta's the man for the job. And I think we're seeing it now where excuses are being made for Arsenal. Like we've seen in the past, you know, Arsenal have tried to boot out some good managers. You know, they booted out Arsene Wenger, their greatest manager ever, and clearly their best one of recent as well. You know, and then they booted out Unai Emery, who, again, he's a proven decent manager. You know, he's not exactly the best in the world, but he's quite good. And they got rid of him when there wasn't much going wrong. And now Arteta, I think Arteta is a crap manager. I don't think he's the man for the job. But it's also the boy who's cried wolf. They've cried wolf so many times now that they're crying wolf again about this manager, no one's taking it seriously. So for me, I think one of the things that needs to change is Mikel Arteta. Up next, we have transfers. Now, this one is a bit broad because I don't quite know who to point the finger at. People blame Arteta for this, people blame Edu for this, people blame Kroenke for this. So it's a hard one to point the finger at. But Arsenal's transfers, especially this summer, have been lacklustre. Look at the transfers you've made. Ben White for 50 million. I'm not speaking. Tavares for, I'm not quite sure the price tag. Lokonga, who, again, I'm not quite sure the price tag. Ramsdale, who, 35 million. Am I missing any more? I might be missing some more. I can't even remember off the top of my head. But I can tell you now, they've spent around 130 million this window. And look what they've got for it. Ben White, he's barely top 10 Premier League centre-backs, let's be honest. Tavares, Lokonga, I don't know too much about them, so I can't really comment. Ramsdale, a keeper who's been relegated 3 times. And a keeper that, I get he's young, he's English, but he's not that impressive for me. You know, I understand these players come with a price tag. You know, people will say, like, oh, don't compare Ben White and Varane because, you know, the circumstances, Ben White's English, Ben White's younger, etc. But, you know, it's not about how much the players cost, it's about what you're getting for your money. When you have Raphael Varane available for 35 million and you chose £50 million Ben White over him, it's like, oh, come on. There's better out there for the same price. You know, we look at transfer windows like Man United's, you know, Sancho, Ronaldo, Varane. Them 3 signings cost around a similar price tag as the Arsenal signings. Them 3 are far more impressive than Arsenal's window. Not to mention the transfer outflow isn't exactly great either. Okay, you got rid of Bellerin. You know, that's a step in the right direction. Get him gone. The fashion model, he ain't that good. But you haven't really transferred out any of the dead weight, you know. You've still got tons of it. You know, I look at that team on paper. I predicted for Arsenal this season a 12th place finish. I think 12th place is looking generous now, you know what I mean? As of time of recording, Arsenal sit 20th, 0 points, scored 0 goals. That should tell you everything. The amount of deadwood in that team is ridiculous. Now, the final point that I'm going to touch on, expectation. Now, this is going to sound like I'm taking a dig at the fans. I'm not. I promise you, I'm not. I just think the expectation for Arsenal is set higher than it should be. You know, Arsenal are a big 6 team, but by no means are Arsenal a top 6 team. You know, the big 6 in the Premier League, Spurs, City, United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, they're the commercial big 6. They're the 6 highest earners in the Premier League, which Arsenal are there. But top 6, you're not talking Arsenal anymore. Arsenal, they're a mid-table team now. I'm sorry, they are. So when you have people predicting Arsenal to finish 5th, to finish top 4, it's unrealistic. You know, Arsenal could pull off a miracle and finish in the top 4 or even win the Premier League. Anything can happen. But in all likeliness, that won't happen. And I think a good reason is on the expectation. This team is a mid-table team. Look at that team on paper and tell me there's not, you know, 7 better teams than it, 8 better teams than it, 9 better teams than it. It's not a great team on paper. This team is mid-table for now. Could they build off it and move higher up the table? Of course they could. But I don't think we'll see that for another few years. So overall, I think those are the 3 main issues that I see at Arsenal right now. You know, I hope they can fix them. I hope they can, you know, capitalise on whatever opportunities they're afforded. Because I like Arsenal. I want to see them back up the table. But ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for today's video. If you haven't already, leave a like on this video. Don't forget to subscribe and write a comment down below and let me know what you think. Thank you. Goodbye.